And with me, Professor Susan Booysen, Research Director at the Johannesburg-based Mapungubwe Institute for Strategic Reflections. And we're going to talk about some of the election-related stuff, parties, the ANC. Prof, thanks so much for coming through.
Morning, Sakina. Thank you.
So we look at this particular election, much been said about it. There's quite a bit of excitement in the air because there is just a sense that this could be a tipping point. It could be a seminal moment looking at where we go to in our body politic from here on in. Do you get that same sense?
Indeed. In no election before since our 1995 one, the sixth one, we had this convergence, confluence of so many factors of uncertainty when it comes to political parties, to governing party and its policies, to the type of government. Is it populist? Is it institutional? To the extent to which protest feeds into formal politics, and the two converge. Nowhere before have we seen this confluence of factors that really suggest, indicate, confirm even that our politics have been changing, that politics is not parliament, political parties, party identification are not what they have been before. And this all comes together to a very different epoch in our policy.
Well, in the interest of time, we're not going to unpack those uncertainties just for now, because we still have this entire week to talk through some of these elements. But I want to touch on the issue of liberation movements in general and looking at where we are at. We're 25 years into our democracy and generally around 30 years into governing. You see these liberation movements come unstuck.
Yes.
What are we seeing here?
Yes, we even see liberation movements getting unstuck much earlier, from around some places from around 15 years on, where they become really unstable and they start reverting to oppression, violence on their citizens, everything just to retain power. In South Africa, it has been very interesting. The ANC, of course, is a very powerful apparatus, and they know how to use propaganda and how to use information and how to use persuasion and how to deal with opposition parties to protect that space. And so the ANC has really been guarding that space of it, and we've seen that the ANC had really lapsed under Jacob Zuma, and now it is a question whether the ANC can actually self-correct, reinvent itself and make itself a credible party that people wish to identify with, especially given that our electorate is changing so much and it's becoming so youthful. Can the ANC keep control of this wild being that is a former liberation movement current political party? And can it notch up and be proud of those achievements that he's had in 25 years? It is interesting, this election too. We had been expecting much more of a convergence with a celebration of 25 years and the campaigning for this election. But given the nature of the ANC at this particular moment, it's campaigning as being much more defensive and in places even apologetic.
Well, I'm loath to leave it there because we're just getting into the good stuff, but we have to. But Professor Susan Booysen will be with us here on SABC, and I'm sure you'll be seeing much more of her, and hopefully we can get further into this particular discussion at a later stage. But that was Professor Susan Booysen, Research Director at the Johannesburg-based Mapungubwe Institute for Strategic Reflection, and we'll talk to her more about the ANC as time goes on.